what's important here is that for President Kennedy, this wasn't about a battle with some other force or an opposition. Keep in mind, the new frontier that he talked about 60 years ago this year was not a set of policy initiatives, though his presidency had many of those, short-lived as it was. But it was about pushing oneself across that next horizon.
With this recognition of this award comes a responsibility for all of us to act boldly and to completely reimagine how we treat immigrants in this country.
And I think that a system where there were more, at least votes in the Electoral College, if not popular voting, would encourage people to feel more invested in the process.
Is to maybe just think about the job as it is, rather than the job that we talk about in a campaign. In a campaign, the president can do all of these magical things. The job is much harder than that. And maybe some of the way we should take the pressure off is asking Congress to do more.
I think I had been fascinated by the Kennedys. It is in some ways the great American story. This family is it's an extraordinary one.
Since the passage of the 19th Amendment, for 100 years, women have had the right to vote. And there hasn't been the concerted attempt to keep women from voting. But there certainly has been a long and historical attempt to keep African Americans from voting.
What messages do you have to young people about how to preserve democracy?
Vote. vote. And get everybody else to vote.
How political courage is not just necessarily a one-time action, but once you engage in political courage, it'll stick with you for the rest of your life. Political courage, I believe, is a remedy for the situation we find ourselves in, and it's more necessary than ever.
We can't get together this year, but we're still seeing courage all around us.
That's why we're creating a special Profiles in Courage Award to celebrate the frontline heroes of the COVID crisis.
Please send us the stories of people in your community, the doctors, nurses, first responders, and anyone else who's risking everything to keep us safe.
"60 years ago, in a crowded LA stadium, my father accepted the Democratic nomination for president. He challenged Americans to look to the future and join him on a journey toward a new frontier.
It was a call to the young at heart, regardless of age or party. Times have changed, but the themes of my grandfather's speech, courage, unity, and patriotism, are as important today as they were in 1960.
That is the question of the new frontier. That is the choice that our nation must make. A choice that lies not merely between two men or two parties, but between the public interest and private comfort, between national greatness and national decline, between the fresh air of progress and the stale, dank atmosphere of normalcy, between dedication or mediocrity. All mankind waits upon our decision. A whole world looks to see what we shall do. And we cannot fail that trust, and we cannot fail to try. As we face the coming great challenge, we too shall wait upon the Lord and ask that He renew our strength. Then shall we be equal to the test. Then we shall not be weary. Then we shall prevail.